Make sure you have your Home Links workbook open to page 67. Push pause, and then when you have page 67 in your Home Links workbook open and it looks like this, then go ahead and push play. All right, we're going to start by dividing the number line to show halves. Okay, halves, you know what halves are. Think about when you turn a half year older, you're 11 and a half or you're 12 and a half. Label each tick mark with a fraction, okay? So let's look. We know 0 and 1 and 2 are right here. Well, halves are always right in the middle, right? So this one would be 1/2. And what would this one be? It's not another half, it's 1.5, right? Because we're halfway in between 1 and 2. Now let's try dividing this number line to show fourths. Label each tick mark with a fraction, okay? So we need to figure out how to break each whole into 4 pieces, okay? 4 pieces. So I know I have 0 right here at the left tick mark and 1 in the middle. So I need to break that up into 4 pieces. First, I'm going to break it up into 2 pieces. Then I'm going to break it up again into another 2 pieces on each side. That would give me fourths. Let's just double check. If this was a candy bar and I had this broken up, would it look like fourths? Would there be 4 pieces there? Yes, there would. So that means we are on the right path. Those are fourths. So let's go ahead and label 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and finally we have 1 whole. Go ahead and name it because it can also be called 4/4. 4/4, same exact thing as 1 whole. Now, on the right side, between 1 and 2, we also need to break apart that into fourths. So just like we did before, first break it up into halves, and then break up the left side into another half and the right side into another half. Let's see, just double check. Do you have something that will look, if you had this as a candy bar, would it look like fourths? Yep, there's 4 pieces. So we're on the right track. So let's go ahead and label this one 1 and 1/4, 1 and 2/4, and 1 and 3/4. Now what is the same thing as 2? We can name that one as 8/4. Or you can name it as 1 and 4/4, because both of those equal 2. All right, let's try. The last number line one right here is about showing eighths. Okay, so we need to break this apart into eighths. And I'm going to make mine a little bit smaller here. Eighths, let's do what we did before where we made fourths first. Okay, so first we're going to make fourths. And then to make eighths, you just divide each of those fourths up into 2 pieces. So divide this fourth here into 2 pieces, divide this fourth here into 2 pieces, and this one again, and this one again. Now let's double check. If I had this as a candy bar, check and see, are there really 8 pieces here? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, there are. That's a good way to double check and make sure you did your fraction bar correct. All right, now we need to label them. 1/8, and then next would be 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, and 7/8. And what do you think this one is equal to? Besides just being 1, you could also call it 8/8. Great. Let's keep going and do the other side to show eighths. You can't just stop there. We got to also break up this part into eighths. So start with fourths, and after you have the fourths like this, Then you're ready to break up each little fourth into eighths by splitting each fourth into halves. And of course, you can pause if I'm going too fast. I should have said that at the beginning, but you can always pause and then push play when you need to get caught up on your paper. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is start labeling 1 1/8. And then we have 1 2/8. 1 3/8. 1 4/8. 1 5/8. 1 6/8. 1 7/8. What's another way you could name 2 wholes? Yeah, you could say 1 8/8, or you could say 16/8, or you could just say 2, right? All those are equal to 2. Okay, we're going to keep going on number 4. If you're not caught up, push pause and get caught up. And then when you're ready, push play so we can go on to number 4 all the way through 8. Which number is greater? Circle the greater number in each pair. And I know we talked about the butterfly method last, I believe it was Friday or Thursday. So I want to make sure to help you remember the butterfly method. Basically, you're going to take and connect the opposite digits, the numerator and denominator, to give that one butterfly wing. And then in the little antenna, let's put its product. What is 3 times 4? That's right, it's 12. Now go ahead and make the other butterfly's wing. This is a good strategy to help us compare fractions. So in this antenna, what is 8 times 1? 8. Now you can see your butterfly. Sometimes people like to put a little part like this to make it look more like a butterfly. Which one's greater, the 12 or 8? Of course, yeah, the 12 is greater. So the 12 is on the left side, which means 3/8 is bigger. So we need to circle 3/8. That one is the greater fraction. 3/8 is closer to 1 whole. So if you were really hungry and you wanted more candy than someone else and you had to split it up, you would choose the 3/8, not 1/4. Now let's go ahead and keep working on the butterfly method. So let's do 2 times 4. What do we get? We get 8. Now go ahead and connect the 5 and the 2. And what do you get when you multiply those? You're right. Can you get them? You get 10. And then what you need to do is compare. Is 8 or 10 bigger? 10 is bigger, isn't it? So that means we are going to circle 5/4 because 5/4 is actually bigger than 1. Do you see that? 5/4 is over 1 whole. And 2 over 2 is the same thing as 1 whole. Oh, now look at letter C. Letter C has a mixed number in there. So we can't just do, we can't just do the butterfly method. We actually have to use another way to do this. So we're going to change this one. I haven't taught you this yet, which I'm teaching you tomorrow, how to change 1 5/8 to an improper fraction. What you're going to do is everybody write 13/8 right here. Because 1 5/8 is the exact same thing as 13/8. And I'll show you how we got that tomorrow. Now let's use the butterfly method, okay? So connect. We're comparing 13/8 with 3/2 because 13/8 is the exact same thing as 1 5/8. So what's 8 times 3? 24. And now what's 13 times 2? What is that? It's 26. Can you tell which one's bigger now? 24 or 26? That's right, 13/8 is bigger, so circle 1 and 5/8. That one's bigger than 3/2. Now we're going to rename each fraction as a mixed number. This is exactly like I was talking to you about in your notes. So I want you to go ahead and try using the strategy I showed you earlier, 6 divided by 4 to change 6/4 to to a mixed number. How many 4s are going to fit in there? 1. 1 times 4 is 4. When you subtract, you get 2. So put that 2 at the top of the fraction, and the 4 stays on the bottom. So 1 and 2/4 is the same thing as 6/4. Okay, let's keep going. Let's try 3/2. What is 3 divided by 2? Excuse me. And I probably wrote that in the wrong spot there. I'm going to write 3/2 over here. 3 divided by 2. You're right, 2 can only go in there one time. And the remainder is 1. So we put a 1 on the top and the 2 stays on the bottom. So this one is equal to 1 and 1/2. 3/2, exact same thing as 1 and 1/2. Okay, let's try 13/8. 13/8 is going to be something I solve over here on the right. I'm going to kind of write over this stuff. So you guys might benefit from having an extra piece of paper in front of you. What is 13 divided by 8? I bet you know you can't put it in 2 times. That'd be too many. 1 is all you can do. So you put a 1 there and you subtract and you get a 5. So the 5 goes on top of the fraction and the 8 goes on the bottom. 1 and 5/8. Now we are actually going to X out this part right here because we will work on stuff like that tomorrow instead of doing it today. We're breaking it up into 2 different lessons. Number 7 and number 8 are a review. I'm going to let you solve 7 on your own, but number 8 you might need a little refresher. If you have to use an exponential notation for this one, they want you to take this number 9, multiply it times 10 to the what power, guys? How many zeros do you see there? That's right, you see 2. So you should have 9 times 10 to the 2nd power. So now that you've had a refresher, I know you'll understand how to do letters B and letter C by yourself. So make sure you do the rest of these all by yourself, and then you submit right there on Canvas.